Hello everybody. We are tuning in on Chatty Queen's Brunch Club on today, and we are a little late, and I do apologize for that. We did plan on being on time, but the topic of discussion is still at hand. We are still in motion today. How is everybody doing? I do have a little bit of positivity to hit on you today, and the first thing I want to say to everybody is don't be too disgusted with everybody's discussions. And what I mean by that is the discussions about you or discussions around you, if it just has you. It's okay, cousin. If those discussions around you is having you a bit in you, don't be disgusted with it. Be happy. You know, I heard a meme or a famous saying that if you're not being discussed, then you're nobody. So be happy to be somebody. Clap your hands, clap your hands. Okay, so we're gonna jump right in. We are here at Bianca's birthday event. We don't want to get too loud because we can do that. Everybody's been having a little fun here tonight. And the topic of discussion that she chose was how important is communication in relationships and how important is dating in a relationship. And we've been having this discussion a whole lot lately, and I've been trying my best to get away from I've been trying my best to get away from relationship talk and all of that, because I feel like there's so much that we need to be talking about, and there's so much that we're missing, and all of those discussions and everything is taking a lot away from the things I want to focus on, and that was never the aim. But it seems like there's so much needed in the Black community when it comes down to relationships, and so I'm just gonna keep it there. If people want to talk about it, that's what we're gonna talk about. How important is communication in relationships? I think it's very important. I think that communication is the beginning of everything. Trust, liability comes in with that, because if you're not saying anything or communicating with your spouse the way you're supposed to, then you're liable to get into things that you don't want to either get or be involved with, or you can lose your spouse if you don't care about them.
This your little brother, adopted.
You can lose your spouse if you don't care about them, and if you don't care about communication and trust. Now, dating is a whole different thing. I really, honestly, and truly believe in dates. I believe in gift giving. I believe in keeping everything fresh and new. I think where you get too used to people and too used to each other, or just too common, which is the Chicago term, too common with each other, or just too comfortable with one another, then you can lose sight of what it all was about in the beginning. I love keeping everything fresh. So communication is important in relationships, and I think if you don't communicate, you really have nothing. And there are a few things that you have to keep stay on top of when it comes down to relationships, and that could be trust, loyalty, and I say trust, loyalty, and not getting too comfortable. And I feel like if you lose one of those things, you can lose all three. If you lose trust, you lose everything else. You lose communication, you can lose everything else. If you with somebody that you really don't see a future with, you need to move around. I honestly believe that you are wasting your time. You are not in something that that you can look forward to in the future. Somebody to take care of you, be there for you. Somebody you can discuss bills with and medical experiences and things like that. That's gonna turn into something else. So we're not getting nothing but older, and we are not getting any younger. And if you don't believe that you should have a good communication line with one another, then that's somebody that you shouldn't be playing. You shouldn't be with. You shouldn't be playing with yourself like that. So we're just gonna move on because we do have a few questions and everything, and I'm just gonna pass the mic around. I'm not gonna put everybody on the camera because that's not desired for everybody. So if one doesn't want it, two doesn't want it, we're not gonna put anybody on. But she does have a nice crowd of people here tonight, and it's looking good. So let's get hop right on into the discussion. I'm just gonna step away. This mic will be going around. You'll hear different voices and different opinions, different conversations. You might see me step away, and that's okay. Stay in, and actually join, comment, say whatever it is that you feel when it comes down to these different topics and discussions, because we need you. We don't want to be the only ones talking here. We do have a whole lot to cover tonight, and it's only going to be 30 minutes. So let's go ahead and jump right in. And since Bianca chose this topic of discussion for her birthday, today is Bianca's birthday, I do want to give her a shout out. Happy birthday, Bianca. I wish you many, 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 many more health, wealth, and success. You are doing great. I am so happy for you. And I just pray for your future and all your endeavors, everything that you plan to do in your future. I want to see it happen, just like you wish for me. So let's just go ahead and move on. I'm just going to pass this microphone on, and I'm just going to talk to Bianca a little bit and see what her scope is. So she came up with the idea. Then we're just going to go ahead and get the scope as to what it is what she's really thinking. Make her get a little bit more descriptive with why she came up with this discussion. Okay? 1 second. Hey, Bianca.
I'm just saying, son. I'm just trying to, You go to work? Okay.
Okay, so Bianca's gonna sit right across from me to make things a little bit better. And since she came up with the discussion, let's see what's on her mind. And while we wait on her, what y'all got going on tonight?
And he's short on that.
Where can I join y'all tonight after the show?
Short on that.
Where can I join y'all tonight after the show?
And he's short on that.
What y'all got going on? What is there to drink? What is there to eat? Where is the fun? I guess it's a Sunday night. Y'all don't have too much going on, but enlighten me. Keep this inbox flowing.
You say what?
I wish I had 2 microphones because I'm going to be asking questions, but as long as you can hear her answers, I'll be on live in front of the camera so you guys will be able to.
She took y'all film?
Better get ready to wash the dishes.
Put it on our end.
Hi, Bianca.
Damn.
Hi, B. Happy birthday. How you doing tonight?
Well, hello, everyone. Hello. What is the...
What's your topic, Bing? You said how important is relationships, how important is dating and communication in a relationship. And I was just explaining that dating is very important in a relationship. And I also, she said happy birthday. Somebody said happy birthday to you. She said thank you. And I was just explaining that communication is very important in a relationship, and how if there's no communication and no respect in a loving relationship, communication is very important. And the reason why I say that is because I feel like when you first meet somebody and you get close to someone and they begin these conversations with you, they want you to know everything about them, all the good things, everything that it is and takes to grab you in and get you to where they want you to be. And then after a while, that communication kind of falls off. It tends to fall off. It's not the same. You know, people tend to not respect you the same, or look at the relationship the same, or look at you the same, because they get comfortable with you and thinking that maybe you'll be there forever, or, you know, maybe they don't love you anymore, or maybe the love is gone. But I feel like with a solid relationship, communication will always be there. Also, dating, keeping it fresh. You know, who doesn't want to be around somebody that they love all the time, or that they just adore, you know, and see a future with. Somebody that you see a future with, you're not going to play with them at all. You're not going to play with them. So communication is important, because when it comes down to medical, you know, people have health issues, they have bills, they have all kinds of things going on. That's why me, in a relationship, when it comes down to personally, I feel like relationships should have a lot of communication. If it's not, then it's a waste of time. And I don't, you know, from my past experiences, you know a lot about me, but from my past experiences, I feel like I've had enough experience and been through enough that I'm not going to stick around and go through a whole lot of stuff. I'd rather just be, it's okay. And it's okay. And that's what we were talking about the last episode, you know, how walking away and how people are afraid to be alone. I'm not. That's one thing I'm not afraid to do. I can't be alone. You know, and then a lot of women are not. And so, and men too. But I am not afraid to be single. Like I said, I've been single 1 year my whole entire life, and I feel like being single, you know, and that 1 year was fun. I enjoyed it, you know, and it ended up being a whole nother situation. So I think that when people tend to fall off the communication ladder, then you don't know what that other person is experiencing in their mind, mentally, or what they could be going through. And that can be detrimental to your relationship, marriages and everything. And you came up with this topic tonight. Why?
Because it's very interesting and it's very accurate, and not only that, you just feel like relationships lack so much because of communication. Relationships end because of communication.
What they lack?
It lacks the bondness between two people, and with no communication, it leads to a failed relationship.
Yeah.
So that's why I would say that it's extremely important.
What are some things that you feel like in like any relationship you've ever been in, or you've seen other people go through or experience, that you see as a big issue? Like
lack of dating, lack of keeping it fresh, keeping it new, lack of getting to know your person daily, because we are not who we were 10 years ago.
Yes.
You know, what we expected 10 years ago is not what we're going to expect 10 years later. So, growth. And sometimes you grow out of love. And a lot of that has to do with communication.
Yes.
A lot of that have to do with people going their separate ways. A lot of that have to do with people just wanting to do something different and others at a standstill. You know, sometimes being in a relationship with a lack of anything will make it fall off balance.
Okay. What do you think in our community is there's a problem? Because we always talk about communication in a relationship, and we have a lot of pressure out here. You know, with black women, I feel like there's a issue with bonding between black women. You know, we tend to try to make each other jealous or upset with one another, and that's our pressure when we have a spouse at home. We need that protection to know that we can trust you, we can communicate, we can talk about whatever, you know, and we don't have those outside problems. You know, do you see things like that happening?
Every day.
Every day.
Every day.
Every day.
Every single day.
And what do you think is the problem? Does it all boil down to communication, or do you think people are just not in love anymore?
I think people is not communicating correctly, because what your communication skills is probably, you probably don't have the same communication skills. I may get up in the morning and say, hey, good morning, how are you? And my mate may get up in the morning and just be, nonchalant. But he may think that's good communication. Not only that, but like I said, without it, you're definitely, someone's gonna be growing completely the other way.
So, do you think like nonverbal is a communication? So, like if I see you not talking to me, I take that as a communication. Come on in. You're welcome. Come on.
What's the conversation about?
Communication. How important is
Communication
it
about what?
in a relationship and dating?
Y'all want me in that
Oh,
conversation?
yes, we do.
Because to my eyes, a woman is
Give me
always
a mic.
I'm just going to
Don't.
being honest.
Why? Why is the woman always wrong?
Well, they always broke my heart. And I ain't did nothing to them.
Sorry, guys.
But I'm just saying.
That
I'm
was
drunk
my
now,
girl.
and I
That's
talk when
fine.
I'm sober.
Say it.
But yeah.
Say it.
Women ain't shit. Look, young sir. Let me get my come on, son. Let's go.
Why you say that? Why did you say that?
Go, I'm gonna go.
Why did you say that? Where's
Y'all,
your
y'all
wife?
asked my honest opinion. I just, that man right here feel the same.
You know why that's so bad of you to say, because we feel the same way about men.
Exactly.
But
So,
you have to have a reason why you said that.
a man ain't never broke my heart, and I don't deal with men. A woman has.
I like to be on live without your face.
Yeah, you don't have to. Yeah, you don't have to.
Communication is.
We finna go. What about
Type of understanding as to what it is to, and people been having a little fun tonight, so don't, just look past that. But what I will say is this,
You don't have to.
when it comes down to relationships and when it comes down to people bonding and having that bond so that they can grow, a whole lot of different things can come up. And we have someone else joining us now. And Bianca's busy. Today's her birthday. It was her topic, and she knew everything that was gonna happen tonight. But y'all know how that go. And she mean it. And we're gonna talk about it. We only have about 15 more minutes here. But we were just getting into the discussion of how dating in a relationship and communication in a relationship is important. And Bianca was just going into how detrimental it is and how sometimes non-verbal communication can be a problem too in relationships. So if you get up in the morning, maybe your spouse may have an issue and you don't even know what's going on, you can take that personal. You can say something's going on in this family. Non-verbal communication is still communication. And if you're seeing someone or if you have something else going on, that could be another issue going on. Non-verbal. What are your takes? You've been in relationships. I know exactly how you could portray things and see things just by how you're nodding your head, and that you may have some things that you may have experienced. So what is it that gets you when it comes down to communication in relationships as well as dating and keeping things fresh?
I think that with communication, my pet peeve for communication is the nonverbal, because I think as men, they feel like we're supposed to read their minds. And I feel like if you're not communicating your thoughts or how you feel, how am I supposed to correct it?
Exactly.
Or even work on the situation? I feel like if you don't communicate, then you can't move forward with anything in life. Mm-hmm. So I think it's best to communicate it, whether it hurts someone's feelings or not. Just so that you know how the other person is feeling. Mm-hmm. I think that's the greatest thing, because you can overcome a lot if you communicate.
Yes, you can.
And communicate effectively, mm-hmm. without disrespect, without how can I put it? Levels of anger or any type of substance behind your communication. Belittling people. I think if you communicate and just get an understanding with the other partner, I think your relationship will go much farther than what it would without it.
So do you think that people, like when it comes down to like mental illness in our community and communication and men maybe hiding things, I want to always say men because women go through the same thing. Like sometimes we just don't want to talk, or we just may get upset about different things and we don't want to talk about specific things. You know, when it comes down to communication, like I just had someone call me this week and say my spouse or boyfriend is not talking, something's wrong, I think it's me, I think it's this, or I think it's that. You know, how do you expect for a person to not take an assumption and take it really far? You know, when it's not even them, you can put so much damage on your relationship doing that. You know what I mean? And so what my question is to you is just getting personal a little bit. How do you feel when it comes down to just some past experiences that you've seen that you can share with other people, so that they may be able to see that they're not the only ones, you know, going through or experiencing these type of things. And I know I'm not, because I've had all kinds of issues and I've grown from it, and I feel like I've learned a whole lot in relationships. And it's not one of those things to me anymore, like when it comes down to relationships, either it's this or it's not.
Right.
I feel like all or nothing. If you are,
with men especially, I guess men are afraid to open up. They feel like they're soft.
It does seem that way.
So they bottle everything in. In my past relationship, I had someone who didn't talk about it. They just bottled everything in. So I felt like I had to let them know and reassure them that it was a safe space to talk to me about whatever is going on. Like, I'm not going to judge you, but I need to know, because you bottling in is not going to make anything any better. I can't read your mind. I can't help you when you need help.
Right.
And if you want this relationship to be successful, then this is something that I need from you.
Exactly.
I think as women, we should set that standard up front, that we need communication.
Yes.
We definitely need for you to speak. However it make us feel, I need for you to communicate with me, because otherwise, even with your mental, my mental is just like yours. I go through things through the daily life, and I need to be checked on, just like I need to check my partner's mental as well.
Yes.
Because otherwise, it'll turn into something that is far worse if you don't communicate that. And most men feel like they can't talk to nobody. They can't talk to their buddies about certain things because they look like they're soft. They can't talk to a therapist because that's not what's taught in the black communities. And then they can't talk to their woman because they think their woman is either not going to listen or it's not a safe space.
Yes.
So I think as women, we should provide that for our mates, to just let them know there's no judgment. We should just create a safe space.
So when disrespect comes in, you're saying that sometimes can take away from the relationship.
Yes.
Yep.
All the time.
So what do you feel? And I was just having a really deep thought on, as you were discussing that, I was having a deep thought on how, I know that communication is very important, but when you lose that communication, so in the beginning of the relationship, I feel like you're saying that we need standards. We need to have standards, set those standards, and keep it going. You know, if this is what I require, this is what I need as a woman to for us to grow in this relationship.
Right.
So when you lose that, do you think you can ever get it back? Because once people get in the habit of things, sometimes it's just the way it is.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
I agree.
Do you ever think that you can get that back? Or
honestly, for my thing, I think no. Because I think even if you do get it back, it's not a standard. So I think you'll lose it again.
Yeah.
And it won't be a consistent thing. If it can't be consistent, if it can't be a ongoing thing, then once you lose it, I feel like you're not going to get it back.
Yeah, because you're just stressed out every day. You know, otherwise.
Yeah, you're just stressing me out. You're not thinking of my well-being in this relationship, and I don't think I couldn't go forward with it. I think it would be best to just separate. So I would just part ways with it. I don't think it would go back to where it should be.
So once it gets to that point and people are afraid to part ways, you know, what makes you strong enough to just be like, you know, this is not it? I just want to go, you know.
As far as communicating that with the other person?
Yeah, just saying, look, this is not working. This is not something that I can do, you know, and this is not, you know, because some things, people can stay in things and it just becomes toxic, you know. And with nonverbal or verbal or whatever type of communication that you're desiring or that is occurring, and you don't want it. This is because communication can be bad too,
right?
You know, it can be toxic, and you have to get to some point where you're strengthened enough, you know, to say, look, this is it. You know, communication can get that bad.
Yeah.
You know, it can get so bad to a point where it's like, I can't do this any longer.
Right.
You know, this
and
is not ever going to work.
You need to have self-love. You have to communicate with yourself.
Exactly.
Put yourself first.
Another form of communication.
Yes. You need to say, hey, this is not for me. This is toxic to myself. I'm putting myself forward first and communicate with that person like, look, we're just not meant to be. We're on different paths. I want the best for you, but I need to figure out what's best for me. And just put yourself forward and work it out that way.
I agree.
A lot of people,
Give it a mic.
I just say, add on to that. A lot of people get so comfortable with validation from the outside, and so they stay in these relationships because of what the outside think. I know that was one of my issues in my marriage. It wasn't about the outside. I got to a point where it wasn't about the outside no more. It was about my own happiness. Was it gonna make some people mad? Absolutely. But it wasn't about them no more.
But not only making people mad, but, you know, people view, like, when it comes down to a marriage, people view that marriage as you. You know, one person becomes you, and then if that separates, then, you know, it seems, you know, I think that's more of the fear, not like more of what outside people look at, because, you know, even with, you know, I've been through a lot, you know, and I was in a 16-year marriage. You know, I'm just going to reiterate because I do it on my tape, and sometimes in case people hadn't heard, I was married at 15 and married for 16 years, and, you know, in a very toxic relationship, you know, or marriage where I was called the trophy wife, and I went through different stuff like that, and it's bugs in here, but going through toxic things and stuff, and in that it wasn't that I was worried about what anybody else had to say. I never have been that type of person. I don't care what anybody else thinks. But it is that oneness that you see, and that's mentally in your mind. Like, this is a oneness that, you know, that is, you're just afraid to walk away from. But I think that's more of the issue. You know what I mean?
So I have a question for both of you, because you've been married. I've never been married.
You need to, because they can't see you, but they need to hear you.
Do you guys feel like at one point people stay in marriages because they feel like they don't want to fail?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So that's the reason why they stay in a toxic relationship or a toxic marriage, because they feel like if they go through a divorce or if they get separated, they feel like they failed at being a wife or being the person that was chosen to be that way.
Absolutely. And I also think that people be afraid of what they're going to lose, because after so long, you look at the loss. It's like a receipt and balance kind of thing. That was my biggest issue in mine, because I felt like when we got together, I wasn't where I'm at right now. And technically, I'm still legally married, because it ain't what I'm going to lose right now. It's more, just to be honest, it's more beneficial to me right now, because my health started to fail me. And I needed insurance. So I feel like when I was trying to go through a divorce during COVID, and I got shut down, and then the system came back up. But as soon as the system came back up, it was like my health went down. And I'm like, okay, now I don't have any insurance. But being married gave me insurance.
Gotcha.
You held me up, so now I'm going to hold you up.
Okay.
But I do think it's more about taking a loss. But to be honest with you, at this point in my life, I feel like I'm okay with taking a loss right now. Because I'm there now. Okay. I'm okay with taking a loss right now, because at the end of the day, now I feel like I'm holding him up.
Okay.
You know, and then it's a lot of bitterness. It's a lot of sweet and low moments. You know, it's a lot of on his end what if? But on my end, for me seeing who you are now, you're still the same person. It ain't gonna never be a if about it. I feel like when you're done, you're done. And you know when you're done. And
women especially.
Yeah, when you say you're done, sometimes you're not done. But when you're done, you feel it. You're done. And it took it, you know, I legally married 10 years, but it took me a long time to walk away from that situation. And actually, I was ready 4 years before I knew I was going to walk away.
That's
so
how
I
women
had to
are.
build myself up to leave. I left with nothing. I left with absolutely nothing but me and my daughter's clothing. But I always tell people, it don't matter what you got right now. Peace of mind is the real bag. Because you're going to get it. You're gonna get it back. You're going to start fresh. And it may be even better, you know, than what you left. But a peace of mind is going to always be the real bag to me.
I agree. And I was so afraid to leave the first time, you know, and I feel like if I ever had to do it again, I would be a whole lot more stronger, because you learn, you know, how valuable you are to somebody else is waiting for you. Somebody else is waiting to fill that spot. You know, don't always think about when you walk away from a relationship what woman is going to be there. Every problem that you have with that person that they don't know about, they're going to have to deal with that. They're going to have to let them deal with it. You know, let them deal with drug use and then nastiness and whatever a man got going on that's making you not want to be with them.
Right.
Goodbye. You know, because it's like, and when I was going through that type of thing, I felt like, you know, I couldn't leave even though it was toxic. Even though these things are going on, it was toxic. I'm like, why am I still here? You know, sometimes it's not about the man that you're there. You're not there just because you love him so much.
Right.
It's because of outside and other things that's happening that's making you stay. But just know you do have value. There's somebody else that's waiting to treat you right, to be with you, and it, not even that. It doesn't even have to. So a lot of people are so confined to the thought of you just meeting somebody right here. Oh, it's gonna be where the state you live in forever. No, your husband might be out the country or across the seas or something. You know, live a little. Don't waste your time in the same thing forever. You know, don't be in toxic relationships forever. You might be with somebody way overseas by, you know, the end of your whatever. When you come out of everything, all your healing, and that person can be just local, dealing with local people and doing the same thing, like whatever level they're on, let them be on that level. It's somebody waiting to treat you like majesty. You know what I mean? So, you know, and that thing, if you can't get whatever it is, whether it's communication, dating, or whatever, move around. Move around. Learn to let go.
Yes.
Learn to let go. Do you have any final says?
No, I'm okay. I think we said everything.
We covered it.
Yes,
We covered it. Okay, we're going to go ahead and close out, guys. I think that this is a really good conversation. We did good tonight. We didn't want to go too long, so we did well. We're going to go ahead and close out. Chatty Queens Brunch Club is on the move. Catch up if you can. Catch me on YouTube. Catch me on Instagram. I'm working on Facebook. I don't like it too much, but I will be on Facebook probably by next month. But I'm gathering all of my viewers. Keep bringing those followers on. Keep bringing them followers on. I know I'm new. I've only been on Instagram a few months now. But come on. Let's get them followers up. Y'all share, and like, share and like. Keep those inboxes flowing. I love those inboxes. And you guys continue to support me. I really do appreciate it. And we're going to go ahead and check out. Thanks for tuning in with the Chat Queen. Love y'all.